Hey folks, Randy here doing cut and trim. So I'm about to mow the most most miserable property I've ever seen. I can't believe this is even real. So I'm gonna have to mow it with the Time Master. There's no way the Pro Line's gonna work on these hills, and I figured I would take you along with me. But I'm gonna have you actually facing me because GoPro doesn't do that great a job of showing how crazy hills are. But I think when you guys see just how sideways I am compared to the mower, it's gonna be crazy. See what happens. So I wanted to walk around this property first so you guys can kind of get a feel for what it looks like. This thing is so steep. This isn't even the steepest part of the hill. The steepest part is that little very brief blurb that you just saw. Really did a bad job of showing you this, but good God. This lawn took me back to when I was first starting in the lawn business. Back when I was literally just an office worker who had no business cutting grass. So out of shape. This lawn took me back to it. Now this lawn is definitely the worst, as far as hills go, the worst thing I've ever dealt with. Honestly, it reminded me, like, in 2015, I was mowing on weekends. Like I said, I was in an air-conditioned office all day. I've been an office worker for 9 years, no, 8 years at that point. And so, I used to work construction, but not so much, but not in a long time. So I had lost a lot of that endurance. And so when I first started mowing part-time on the weekends, I couldn't handle heat well at all. And I would get sick and I'd get tired. Like I remember many times. It's embarrassing how many times it's happened. But it's actually really unhealthy to think about it. There were several times I literally would throw up on a customer's lawn, wait a couple minutes, and then get back to work. Literally, I would literally just sit down on their yard. In hindsight, I'm surprised nobody called 911. But this yard took me back to that because it's one of those funny things too. Like this is a new house, and I swear, like in Herman County, they are literally just sticking houses everywhere. Look at this. Look at how sideways I am. Anyway, Anne Arundel County, they're sticking houses everywhere. And because I remember this house because actually the people that live next door to this house, I know them. So I've been to their home several times. And so I remember when there was nothing but woods here. It was just a really steep hill with trees on it. And now there's a hill. Now there's a house. So they're literally just sticking it anywhere, and they're just like, yes, you have a yard. Is it usable? No. Because there's literally nothing you could do on this yard. The whole yard is a steep hill. I just don't know what people are thinking. And then just to make the job even all that more brutal, I don't know who laid the sod on this property because clearly they laid sod. They dug everything down and made it the shape they wanted to make it, and then installed sod. But it had to have been the lowest of the low men on the totem pole on the construction company that did this job because there are several times where the mower would literally just fall into ditches like that you can't see because of the grass, but like it would just go dunk. And I would look, and you could literally see there's just these huge gaps in the sod. It was just, it was brutal, man. I don't know. So, when I first saw the property, my first thought was like, oh, I'm not charging enough for this. It's $45 per cut, because it's a small yard. That's the thing. It's a small yard. It's just the whole thing is a hill. And so, when I got done doing this, I think I mentioned it at the end of this video because I talk a little bit at the end of the video. This job took 50 minutes. I show a little bit of trimming at the end, but it was a lot of trimming. And it's not even that it's a lot of trimming, it's just that it's all on this steep hill that, you can feel your feet slipping as you're walking on this hill. So it took me 50 minutes for a $45 cut, but the grass was severely overgrown. And so, my first thought when I was doing this job was like, I need to charge way more for this lawn. Here I am, I'm taking a break. I was so tired. I cannot begin to express how exhausting this job was to me. It was sucking wind, man. I just wanted it to end. Oh, I'm not. I guess I guess the mower turned off on me. Anyway, I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So anyway, so it took me 50 minutes, but I don't like to make adjustments to price based on how long a job took when it's overgrown. So I'm gonna be mowing it again this week, and I'm gonna see how it does then, how long it takes me. For $45 cut, ideally, I don't want to be on your property much more than 30 minutes. I mean, yeah, in reality, it needs to be like 25. 30, I'm only mildly annoyed. 35, I'm very annoyed, but it's still okay. But if it's 50 minutes again, there's just no way. That's just way too much time for the amount of lawns I have. And this is the farthest lawn from my house. So, I'm not going to do the most drive time for the most miserable lawn unless financially it's worth it. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's another maybe 5 minutes away from my next furthest lawn. So, just a lot more drive time than you'd prefer. And I'm not sure what happened here, but I guess at some point the camera jerked forward. But look at that. You see how far my legs are to the side. I mean, it really just gives you an idea just how low or how steep this whole thing is. It reminds me of a lawn I had when I first started my business. I got this yard, again, amazing neighborhood, beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. The houses had to be in the $600,000-$700,000 range. Nice area, lovely neighborhood, massive houses, small yards. But this one yard, it was the front yard was nice, it was pretty. But then you got to the backyard, and it was this steep hill, not as big, but the yard was nowhere near as this big. So even though the hill was extremely steep, you could just trim the whole thing, and it wasn't a big deal. But this kind of reminded me of that because, again, I was part-time at the time, and there was just no way I was going to be able to physically. I just couldn't do most of the stuff that I was doing. And so it would really kick my butt. It's funny because now, big time trimming jobs like that, they're really not that big of a deal. I mean, I'm sucking wind, but it's, I'm fine. You guys actually have seen me posting pictures of that one hill where I have to trim the whole thing. And I always joke that, oh, this hill makes me want to quit. It doesn't actually make me want to quit. I'm kidding when I say that. Somebody dared call me a snowflake on one of those posts. That's one of the most offensive things I've ever been called on this channel. But, what are you going to do, man? It's good exercise. I mean, that's the one nice thing I've really been able to notice is my conditioning is so much better than it's been in the past. Why is this video still going? Why am I still recording this? How come when I edited this, I thought it was good to keep this in here? I'm confused. I don't know. Oh, jeez. I could have edited all that out. That'd have been a lot less annoying. So, honestly, there was a lot of stuff that, mohawked and things like that. And I was like, I'm not going back and fixing all these mohawks. This sucker is overgrown and it was insane. But I was going to hit some of the mohawks that were kind of noticeable from the driveway. So that's, I don't want to look too bad on that first cut. But I think the lady knew, look, this is severely overgrown. So kind of had it coming. I'm remembering doing this. And the fact that I got to do this again coming up here soon is just I'm dreading it so much. But it's kind of like a challenge. I'm kind of excited about it. So I think you're about to hear me talk again. So I'm going to end this here. It's Randy with Dolan Cut and Trim. Get ready for more from me. Okay, that was the worst lawn I've ever mowed. Oh man,
it took me 50 minutes total. It was pretty overgrown though. So I'm gonna mow this one again in 2 weeks. I'm gonna see how long it takes me then. But I can't do a 45-minute lawn and it take almost an hour. That's just unacceptable. So that was rough.